Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. So we're getting straight into this episode, guys. We are on episode 12 now, and I must say before we do get into this game against Burnley, where Jamie Walker will be making his debut, apologies I've not uploaded in quite a while recently, but the reason for that being is I'm currently working on another day in the life video. So if you've not watched them so far, they're basically sort of like GTA slash FIFA parodies, and I'm currently working on another one of them, so that's been taking up quite a lot of my time when I've been making YouTube videos lately. But anyway, going into today's video, guys, this is how the league table currently stands. Burnley are currently just on top of us at this point in time, so this will be a big match, as last time we played Burnley, only a couple of episodes ago, they managed to absolutely obliterate us 3-0, and this game gets off to an absolutely awful start for us, with us giving away a penalty. It was a really... It was one of those penalties where I had nothing to do with, really. I didn't make a mistake here. It was just the AI ran into his player, and it was Cunningham in the end who ran into George Boyd, and in the end that would result in a penalty to Burnley. Really disappointing, only in the 3rd minute here. And somehow Burnley had a penalty, and it was Joe Barton who stepped up and put it into the back of the net. I was contemplating whether to stay down in the middle, but in the last second I changed my mind and decided to dive out of the way with Kirkland. But in the end, Burnley did manage to make that 1-0. So a really disappointing start, but nevertheless a good start for Burnley. So we would really need to pick ourselves up, because I was not prepared to lose another local derby in this series, guys. So far we got battered by Bolton really early on in this series. We got battered by Burnley away 3-0. We did manage to beat Blackburn, however, but this game against Burnley, we just needed to win, basically, just to reclaim a bit of pride, basically, for Preston in Lancashire. But it was also an important match because of where we were in the table, so getting 3 points here would be absolutely massive for us, as it would have meant that we would have gone above them in the table after this game, guys. But since Burnley did score, we were then going on the attack here. A nice run from Stevie May, and in the end he just can't manage to get that into the back of the net. I think Stevie May's best position probably is playing centre forward, just behind someone else who is playing up front, and I got a lot out of him in this game, I must say that. But one player that was definitely very lively was here, Jamie Walker, cutting in from the side. Could he get a shot away? He gets a shot away and manages to find the bottom corner. And on his debut, Jamie Walker manages to level it up to 1-1. He runs to the camera to celebrate, and what a signing. Hopefully, if he can do this more of. He's such a nice player to play with. I think he's only got something like 70 dribbling, but he seems to be very agile, and that was a fantastic finesse shot into the bottom corner. He really did take that well, and it was just a fantastic finish. He bent it around their player right into the corner, and there was no chance Tom Heaton was going to get anywhere near that. And on his debut, Jamie Walker, in front of the Preston fans, had managed to get a debut goal. So that's just what we wanted from Jamie Walker, to have an instant impact. And that's exactly why we brought him into the squad. But this was a very end-to-end match, and straight away they managed to make it 2-1. Ashley Barnes it was this time. We're into the 35th minute here. It was a good goal, but it was avoidable yet again. Their player manages to get it out wide. It's a big swinging cross inside, and I think it's Reeder Johnson who is out-jumped by Ashley Barnes to get to that header in the end, which is really disappointing, really, because Reeder Johnson, I think he's our tallest centre-back we got at the club, bar Paul Huntington, and the reason we brought him in was to be an aerial threat, since our other centre-backs aren't very tall. But on quite a few of occasions, he has been out-jumped, so I thought I'd bring that up as an interesting talking point, maybe. But Jamie Walker, once again, on the left-hand side, manages to get a cross in. Was it a cross? Was it a shot? I wasn't sure. Their keeper manages to punch it away somehow, and in the end, we don't manage to get anything from the rebound in the end. But Jamie Walker was such a lively player. Playing on the left-hand side, his normal position is on the right, but I decided to play him on the left-hand side so that he could cut inside with his right foot, and that really did work out very well indeed. But then, just before the end of this half, Humphrey feeds in Bradley Dack, who manages to level it up 2-2-2 just before half-time. It was Chris Humphrey with the assist this time, and it's been a while since Bradley Dack has scored a goal, actually, and all the Preston players will come over and absolutely mob him. But like I've been saying, Bradley Dack had an absolutely electric start to this season, but since the first 2 months of the season, he's not really scored a goal, and Daniel Johnson's been taking most of the limelight from scoring goals from midfield. But it's nice to see Bradley Dack back on the score sheet. Preston's number 18, near post to Tom Heaton, and he wasn't going to get to that, and that meant that we were level at 2-2 now, and we really were doing well in this match. So going into the second half, we do have a free kick here with Daniel Johnson lining this one up, decide to go for a knuckleball. Their keeper makes a great save, get it back in, falls to Jamie Walker. Jamie Walker gets the shot away, but their goalkeeper once again makes a good save to deny him. But he's such a fun player to use, Jamie Walker, and I'm really glad that in the end I did decide to pursue that deal and actually go out and buy him. I'm glad he was the player that I decided to buy in the end, and he's got a lot of potential as well. But still persisting with our chances, we get one with DJ there, but Tom Heaton makes another good save from Daniel Johnson, having a good attempt at goal there. We really were knocking on the door for Burnley here, and it was only really realistically going to be a matter of time before we did manage to get the ball. The ball manages to fall to Walker inside the box, and he managed to make it 3-2 to Preston. This was a bit of a lucky goal, I'm not going to deny that. The fact that their players, it was in front of the Burnley fans as well, which was pretty funny, but a great ball in from Tom Clark, manages to get its way to Stevie May. Their player gets a block on it and doesn't manage to clear it, and Jamie Walker just darts in from there and manages to get it into the back of the net. He is taken out in the process by their player here. He's absolutely flawed, but that wasn't going to matter. It was an absolutely fantastic finish, and on his debut, Jamie Walker managed to get 2 goals. He was just having an absolute dream debut. And another player that was playing really well was Stevie May in this match. And if anyone deserved a last goal from this game, it was Stevie May, and he managed to get just that. A Daniel Johnson assist this time, and Stevie May hasn't scored for us. We're in January. No, we're actually in February now, I think. Or no, this was our last game of January. We're in January now, late January, and Stevie May has not scored a goal since the opening day of the season. So it was a really nice goal for him to get, really, and hopefully that will restore a bit of confidence for him, like it has for Garner in this career mode as well. He scored a couple of episodes ago, and since then he hasn't stopped scoring, so hopefully the same will apply now to Stevie May. And Beckford, obviously, they're celebrating with him. So 4-2 against Burnley. I think it's fair to say we got our revenge on them after being absolutely annihilated at Turf Moor. And that, guys, was how that match did finish in the end. A really comprehensive win, 4-2 in the end, and Burnley never got anywhere near us, and realistically they were never going to. And it was just a fantastic win in the end, despite conceding 2 goals, which were both avoidable, the penalty and obviously the cross as well. Both goals were avoidable in the end, but that doesn't matter, since we did manage to outscore them, and Jamie Walker had an absolutely ecstatic debut. I honestly couldn't have asked anything more from our players from this match. And now we'll just pop on with the career mode, guys, and hopefully we'll emulate this same form in our next match. So guys, we are now wrapping up January, and I thought I'd show you this, that transfer deadline day has now officially finished, and I was never going to do any business on transfer deadline day, as we really, after signing Jamie Walker, we really did have limited funds, and it also meant that I wanted to keep some wages for the end of the season, for when we wanted to sign some people on new contracts and stuff like that. So I was never going to sign anyone on transfer deadline day, just so we are in a good position at the end of the season to sign on players for an extended contract. So going into the second game of today's episode, guys, we are playing Rotherham away from home. Now, hopefully this would have been a slightly easier match, but that wasn't going to be the case, since we had a lot of people that were tired and lacking fitness, really. So going into this match, we get off to a good start here with Daniel Johnson. Johnson manages to force a great save from the keeper, and Jamie Walker then gets a shot away, but their keeper makes another excellent save to deny us. Really unfortunate here. Jamie Walker on the volley really well struck that, but he just couldn't manage to find the corner of the net, and if he managed to get another goal in this game, he would have been he would have gone up in my ranks by so much. But he really was on fire in this match. He manages to work another chance here, cutting in from the left hand side, gets a good shot away, but this time it just drifts over the keeper and over the crossbar in the end. He's trying to emulate that goal he scored against Burnley earlier in the episode, but this time it just goes over the top of the bar and he doesn't manage to get that in the end. But going away to Rotherham, it was a bit of a mismatch, really, because I was expecting a win from it, but the way that they actually score, as you can see here, they managed to get a penalty. Really unfortunate, and it was Alan Brown this time who gave away this penalty. And yet again, it wasn't something I did, it was just the AI, Alan Brown, ran into their player and he went down. Really frustrating when this happens this year, guys, but there's honestly nothing you can do about it, really. And so this has happened in the last 2 matches, so that was just really frustrating for me, as we couldn't have really, or I couldn't have really prevented conceding these penalties in a way, I suppose. But their player manages to step up and sends Kirkland the wrong way yet again, and Kirkland can't keep the penalty out this time. Really unfortunate that he can't keep it out, but it was a good penalty in the end, and they managed to make it 1-0 to Rotherham. So really unfortunate, and it was a good time for them to score as well. It was just before the second half had begun, just inside the first half, so it was a really good time for them to score. And going into the second half, they actually were on top for most of it. Not much happened in the second half, but they did get a lot of ungrained speculative effort there that just went wide of Chris Kirkland's post. But we were, of course, going to come back into this game and try to persist with some chances. And in the 90th minute, Joe Garner, is he fouled in the box? I thought this was a penalty. The replay showed us everything. I thought it was a penalty, but no. The ref in the end decided to give a goal kick. I personally thought that was a penalty. I thought that Joe Garner was bundled to the floor, but the refs thought not. And really disappointingly, that was actually how that match did finish. It did end 1-0 to Rotherham in the end. So a bit of a disappointing one, especially since the high we were on ever since beating Burnley 4-2 in the end. So a bit disappointing to lose that match in the end, guys. So as you can see by the calendar, we are now in February, and next episode I will go back to the normal thing of doing 3 games per episode. The only reason we've had 2 games per episode in the last couple of episodes is because of obviously the transfer dealings and stuff like that. So as you can see, guys, here is the current league table, and we are currently in 4th. So we are currently above Burnley. Despite losing that Rotherham game, we are still above Burnley, which is definitely still a positive to take from this episode, guys. So we really are doing well, and a lot better than I thought we would, if I was honest. But one thing I thought I'd show you before I do wrap up this episode is the league's top scorers. And as you can see, in 17th, we've got Jermaine Beckford with 8 goals. So the top scorer in the league at the moment is currently Stuart Downing. So if any of our players could manage to catch him up, that would be insane. But I don't think they will, since Beckford lately, his form has dropped off after he was really good at the start of the season. And Stevie May and Garner are only just starting to score now, so they've not really had the boost from the start of the season, so that's a bit disappointing and everything like that. But Chris Kirkland's up there for clean sheets, which is definitely good to see. He's currently 3rd in terms of keeping the most clean sheets in the league this season, so we've got quite a lot of positives to take from this episode, guys. So to wrap up this video, guys, I thought I would show you the squad report. I like to do this every in-game month, just so you guys can get a grasp of how happy the players are and also how much they are growing. So that will wrap it up for this video, guys, of Career Mode. Thank you so much for watching, and your support on these Career Mode videos lately have been absolutely mental. You guys really have been enjoying them lately, so I really do enjoy that. So yeah, thank you so much for you guys watching. I will see you all, and make sure you check out all the links in the description down below. Make sure you check out my second channel, and I'll see you all in the next one.